Hey everybody, Mike Naso from IPR with the latest on the tropics. Again, it is late August, almost September, hurricane season 2007, going to get more active. Already one major hurricane, Dean, a Category 5 at landfall, very nasty damage, and even Aaron that hit the United States as a tropical storm caused some pretty bad flooding. You can see out there we have a couple of Invest out there, nothing named, at least not yet. The first Invest is 94L here approaching the southern Windward Islands. This should head pretty much due west up until the western Caribbean. From there it's unknown. We also have another Invest up here, and we had one down here. They've kind of merged, and this could become a tropical cyclone before it moves out. And then yet again another Invest in the Gulf, but this one appearing to be moving inland, and even a new tropical depression off the coast of Mexico. A lot to cover, so let's get down to it. The first Invest here, 94L, is approaching the windwards, and it's gotten a better looking circulation. You could even see a little bit of that. The problem is the environment is bone dry, and if you notice, see these little outflow boundaries, these have been kind of pushing southward. That's an indication that the system's not really bursting, it's not really developing. And you can see the IR there, pretty meager. A lot of dry air along with that. Not a lot of convection at all. Here are the islands. Here's Barbados. Here's St. Lucia, Martinique, Dominica up here. And down here is more of the Windward Islands. And this system appears to be moving to Barbados or southward. And it probably won't become much of anything before the islands. You can see the models here are in pretty good agreement to continue it generally west-northwest. Right up towards the northwest Caribbean, you can see the GFDL, the 12Z has it sitting right here north of Honduras and Nicaragua, and you can see most of the models in good agreement that it'll go straight through the middle of the Caribbean, probably to the south of where Dean went. How strong it becomes, it's just unknown. The ships does have it becoming a intense hurricane in the western Caribbean, which if it develops, certainly could be in the cards. Here's another Invest, this is 96L. Right up here, and it's starting to move a little bit more north, but there is a good opportunity for some brief development into a tropical depression or a storm as it pulls on off to the northeast, and you can see the latest model guidance agrees with that. It's not moving all that quickly here. If you extended the current motion out 5 days, it wouldn't even be to Maine yet, which means it's sitting around, which all the models indicate it will do before finally pulling out. This one could be a problem up here for the Canadian Maritimes and Nova Scotia. However, it might be a similar storm as we saw with Chantal. Finally, 94L here in the Gulf of Mexico, spinning right in here, has come inland. Thankfully, it didn't stay over the water. It's not going to develop now that it's inland. Will continue to move west. You can see to the south of that, this blow up here, this is a new depression we'll get to. It could be a pretty significant hurricane threatening the Mexican coastline. Further out in the Atlantic, just wanted to note that we have a tropical wave here. This is one big circulation that moved off the other day, but as we've been seeing so far this year, it's the southern end of the wave that survives, and the northern end has kind of gotten crushed. The ridging is almost so strong that the dry air push and the easterly shear really have been taking their toll on these waves, but still, this wave is pretty impressive. And if you look even further out, you could see more about to come off Africa. And again, as we get towards the heart of the hurricane season in 2 weeks, things will definitely get very active, it looks like. In the eastern Pacific, we have a couple of systems. You can see this is Tropical Storm Gil, and it's not looking too good. And then off your screen here, this is a new depression. We'll start with Gil, 45 miles an hour west at 10, 997 millibars. You can see that it's expected to continue to move away from land, but persist. And you can see the track here might be anywhere off to the north here or to the south, but certainly out over open waters. You can see convection there, not looking all that good. Now here's our new tropical depression 11E, and it's forecast to become Tropical Storm Henriette. And winds are currently 35 miles an hour. It's moving to the northwest. That's important. That's towards land at 8, 1,006 millibars. And it could become a tropical storm later tonight or tomorrow. and get dangerously close to the Mexican coastline before becoming a hurricane by the weekend, maybe even a stronger hurricane up towards 80-90 miles an hour, very possible, maybe even stronger than that. And you can see the cone of uncertainty here. It could continue further out to sea, or it could go inland very quickly. By tomorrow night it could be inland, which is why we have tropical storm watches and warnings along the Mexican coastline here. And you can see again from the satellite here, it's starting to get better organized right here, and you can see good curvature with it. Here's our invest coming inland in the Gulf of Mexico here, and that's partly due to the tug from this developing cyclone off the Mexican coastline. So it's not looking all that good for Mexico. You could already see thunderstorms starting to fire. Finally, in the western Pacific, we have Typhoon Fitao, and Fitao has winds of 85 miles an hour, gusting to 105. It's moving northwest at 14, but it's starting to do a curve back to the west, and it's doing it at a relatively high latitude, 30 north. I mean, this is the equivalent of something curving due west towards Georgia or South Carolina, which is rare. It's forecast to become a Cat 4 typhoon, maybe even a super typhoon, and by Tuesday be approaching Japan. And you can see already it's starting to look impressive as it's turning, and got ridge to the north. It's going to push it straight towards Japan. It could be a Cat 4 at this point, and it may weaken before landfall, but a Cat 4 just that far south of Japan is something to concern with. So certainly Typhoon Fitao is going to be something to have to deal with. I'm Mike Naso from IPR. I'll see you next time.